When God wants to bless anybody, He instructs them to leave where they were born to go out to a strange land that they've never been to before. There are three things that strange land does for people. Number one, so now my experience of Nigeria is the similar things that Israelites experienced in Egypt. And I accepted the responsibility to take Nigerians to their promised land. I'm called these days Moses.
We have here Dr. Moses. Let's meet Dr. Moses. Who is Dr. Moses?
This is Moses Adebisi. No travel agent in Nigeria, without mincing my word, no travel agent has done what we have done in Nigeria when it comes to real visa for people to travel. Nobody.
How many countries have you traveled to?
I've traveled, let's say 18 countries.
18? That's huge.
See, if you remain in Nigeria and no member of your family step out of this country, at least for the next 30 to 40 years, because it takes a generation to build a country.
Jesus.
So that 40, 50 years of national development, I'm talking of real national development, okay? That 40, 50 years, if you remain here in this country, you are the one that people will be pointing to that see them. See, I'm telling you the truth, sir.
Abraham traveled from his father's house, or left his father's house. And when he did, certain changes happened in his life. And his name became Abraham. His life changed. Can you give us the significance of that move that Abraham made?
Well, it's a very big questions, and then I hope everybody get to listen to the response I'm about to give to this regard. When God wants to bless anybody, He instructs them to leave where they were born to go out to a strange land that they've never been to before.
Interesting.
There are three things that strange land does for people. Number one, it makes you to leave your comfort zones, and then your brain begins to function more than it will function when you're within your comfort zone. So it is proven, late Dr. Miles Monroe said something. He said, this brain functions 200 times better when we are in crisis as human. So anytime anybody find themselves in crisis, in a time of trouble, their brains is bound to function 200 times higher than they used to function before. So when God wants to bless people, remember, wealth is created from brain, from the reasoning.
Yes.
So by the time God wants to bless people, He instructs them to leave their fatherland and then go to a strange land where they will be left all alone by themselves, and then they begin to figure out how to survive themselves. So when people now start to figure out how to survive themselves, definitely they are bound to cross the Rubicon of the problem that they had before. That's one. Number two is, every time there will be drought everywhere. There will be times of peak time and the low time. There will be bubbles and there will be dry time everywhere. So we have like underdeveloped countries in the world today. We have those in the developing phase, and we have the developed one.
Yes.
Some of the developed country, they are becoming regressed. Now, you know what? You know regress, right? They are going backward. They are having a retrogressive evolutions, and some are just emerging. Some countries are just emerging. Some have emerged and they get well, and then they are going back now. Other countries are taking over them. That's why you have the world power. Another country come and take the world power from them. So you have time of drought in every country. So when you are in a place that is experiencing drought, and God wants to bless you, not for you to experience the drought of the land, He takes you to where there is milk and honey.
Is there drought in Nigeria?
Well, I wrote a book exposing the absurdities in Nigeria's system of government, and I studied the problem of this country from A to Z. I traveled to so many places. I met every kind of person that you can think about.
How many countries have you traveled to?
I've traveled, let's say 18 countries.
18? That's huge.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Nigeria. I traveled to the length and breadth of Nigeria. I met all the categories of persons, both the low, the middle class, and the poor masses in Nigeria. I engaged them in talk. And I see that I say, single problems that all of us are facing is crisis. And the crisis is not peculiar to Nigeria alone.
Interesting.
Okay? So now when God now wants to bless people, He takes them out of where there is drought, where there is crisis, where there is problem, where there is catastrophe. Where the system is not yet working properly, He takes them to where the system is working. He takes them to the land that flows with the milk and honey to bless them. Why do you think He wants to bless them? So that they can come back and culture His people. Let me give you this point before I go. I know you're a scientist. Agriculture, which is fine. But in science, when we're coming up, when an organism has contracted a disease, how the scientists that time heal the organisms is they would take one among those organisms that's already got contaminated, cultured, and heal that one, then culture that same organism and send them back to the packs of all other organisms to do what? To culture other people in order for them to get healed of their disease too. So when God want to bless people, He send them out of where they are born, where they're having problems, where they're having so many things, send them out to go and have everything good that is obtainable somewhere else. And after they've gotten the empowerment, He brings them back to the real people now and culture the society, bring the influence to the society.
We have here Dr. Moses. Let's meet Dr. Moses. Who is Dr. Moses? Welcome to World Creation Podcast. And in today's edition, we will be talking about the power of migration. Why should people travel? Why should people have second residency? Why should people become second citizens in developed countries? What's the importance for you who is in Africa, especially those watching in Nigeria, Ghana, or different parts of the world? Dr. Moses, let's meet you. Who is Dr. Moses?
Well, thank you so much. I'm just me, Moses Adebisi. I will just talk briefly. I was born in Osun State in the early 90s anyway. And then I've always craved for more. There was something that happened back then because we were from a very wretched of the wretched family back there in Osun State in Nigeria here. So from where I was coming from, we only knew three things. Number one is farm, okay? We know farm, we'll go to farm. Number two is church. We know farm, we know church, and we know school. The public schools that time, you understand where we'll go, our primary and secondary. So we'll leave the farm, we'll come to church, and then we'll go to school and come back home every day.
A 3 cycle.
That's the 3 cycles there. And not that the farm and the church we're going to that time really give us the life that we're hoping on. So we were still right there in the perpetual poverty where we're living. So I gave up hope. All we know how to do is just to survive like every other person's around me. So one day, former Minister of Aviation he was born from my hometown. Okay, the mother is from my hometown, my main hometown. Then they came, and then when they came for burial of the mother, okay, and then all the dignitaries in Nigeria were present right in my village that year. All the dignitaries from Mr. President of Nigeria down to the local councillors in my locality that we know that time were all present. So when we were coming from the farm, this is a big party, police everywhere. So everybody wants to see what is happening. We all know, of course, we all know which is the almighty family in that our local family that time. So now all of us, we just came now from farm. Instead of going to church that day, okay, no, the church is towards the evening time. So we rush to the place to go and see what is happening. Then we were not given the privilege to enter the venue of the burial ceremony. So we were in thousands lined up in front of the hall of the school, St. Paul Cathedral, where they used that time. So when towards the evening, when the party was literally, when the people now started to go, you see Mr. President, you see the governors, you see the escort, you see the different, like you just see the vehicles were just lining up. And I had a mental reset that day, that if it happened here, it can happen here too. If it happened here, it can happen here too. Then I took the decisions that let's go for more. So then we started the life gradually, finished from OAU Ife, and then I advanced my course again. I went to Cotonou State, did a little program. I went to Abuja to serve. And by privilege, just got in contact with Dr. Ibrahim Baba. He's one of the running mate for the gubernatorial aspirant of the Adamawa State that time. The man he loved me as a person, and it took me like this. And it was taking me to places. You understand, like where I got motivated, where I got the expositions, where I got so many things, you understand? So the guy took me to so many places, the man took me to so many places, Dr. Ibrahim Baba Jimeta. And then, in Abuja that time, so we now got to know about the cryptocurrency. You know, that was all this 2015, 2016, that time, got to know about crypto. We're just trying to survive and all of that. And then, shortly after my service that time, my youth service in Nigeria, I said we'd push Nigeria NGO, People United to Save Humanity. So I got the idea of helping people, giving back to the society and all of that, the CSR, corporate social responsibility, because that's basically what we're living on in TUDEF, in push that time. So I came out. The man already gave me all the motivation I needed in my life. We just launched straight into empowerment. Lo and behold, America just see one of our program, and they just called me and give me ASG for CBO that time, Community-Based Organizations Assistance Small Grants Program, ASG.
Wow.
Yeah, they're as a CBO, Community-Based Organization. So we had Community-Based Organization, and then we had the CBO. I'm the CBO chairman, Community-Based Organization that reach out to the nook and crannies of the place called Paduma in Abuja. It's a village. It's a village. So America identified, we pitched them, and they were empowering the people under their ASG program from the U.S. High Commission, and then they gave us empowerment. I became the Indigenous Ambassador for America.
Wow.
2017.
Wow.
That was one. Shortly after then, World Bank, when these people became Buhari Osibajo 2015 came in. So now World Bank brought a project to Nigeria. They call it AVDD, to identify the youngest and most innovative entrepreneurs in Nigeria. So about millions of people applied for that program. By privilege, I was among the 81 finalists of that program, AVDD. Aso Villa Demo Day. Aso Villa Demo. It was coordinated from the office of the vice president, and it was a World Bank program. Okay, so we got the funding, little funding. The funding was supposed to be massive, but because of the bureaucracy in Nigeria, which is part of the reason I wrote the book exposing the absurdities. I'm not going to go deeper into that now. So so many things happened. They didn't give us what we're entitled to or what was approved for me. I owns most of the Institute of Innovation Technology. That's why I love you so much. Like, I love you, absolutely love you so much. Yeah? Because what we're trying to do, we secured the funding for about Nigeria Saturn. Even with your own capacity, you shoot, and you were doing it and doing it very well.
Thank you.
My friend, which is your friend too, Makachi Woke, the same thing, like you guys just doing so exceptionally well. So, which is so beautiful. So now, we got the little funding. We're supposed to start the project. They were asking for the progress report of tranches. We were on 111 million that was approved for me from World Bank 2017. They gave us 8 million. The 8 million was used just to purchase the land and got the approval. We couldn't do nothing, so approval is not legible as a progress report of the project. You put the money, split it into 17 tranches. You know tranches, right?
Yes.
So you put in 111 million to 17 tranches for a project that if I had them, we would just put it, it to stand immediately. That was how they just twatched that dream in Nigeria. That's what happened with this government. We'll continue like that. Then I got so many things, like we just, because we're never sitting down. I won the Indigenous Ambassadorial Award of the U.S. Mission Nigeria through the Assistance Small Gun Program in 2017 under the leadership of Nigeria Ambassador that time, Stuart Symington. It's my government look at me and say, how old are you? I said, I'm so. He said, whoa. He shoot me again. Stuart Symington was ambassador to Nigeria at that time. So I won the Aso Villa Demo Day Initiative 2017. That was what really brought us out to the limelight.
Interesting.
And then I won the Young African Leaders Initiative Mandela Washington Fellowship Program. Are you aware?
2017 too?
2017.
Wow.
Are you aware?
Wow.
Because I'm on a low, because of the dream, the aspirations, the plan, so the noise was not there that time. My friend, which is the Shola Ogundipe of the pay stack that I mentioned to you, was just a whole lot of help. And then I've got so many professionals in my circle, which are doing exceptionally well.
Interesting.
And then, like very well, you know, in the 81 Young Apes Innovators I told you, we have the group.
I'm on the finalist.
Yeah.
You said I said you are on the finalist.
Yeah.
Finalist.
Yeah, so I feel. Yeah, so I became the United Nations Global Ambassador in the year 2021. So we did all of that. And then, well, I'm not talking about our main project, Relax Travel now, but I'm talking about the career achievement and what we've done.
Great.
So, United Nations Global Ambassador in 2021 in Abuja, which is why I told you, invited all my friends. I came back to Nigeria. I did the program because we are there helping the people. I do 3 things. We have grassroots mobilization on digital literacy. I got Toyota Airs now 3. I got laptops 100. I got volunteers. I go to the rural communities of all my villages, especially from Oshun, and I was training. I'm training the pupils computer, basic computer skills. And I have so many of those young kids now under our leadership, under our tutelage now, and we are sending some of them for scholarship afterwards. From their secondary school, we send them to. We're just doing, we're just trying. And I've got motivations on this. Mama Money, a good friend from AVDD, she does that. So many other great people that are doing well too.
Interesting. What's the second one?
Yeah, and then the second one we do financial inclusions for low-income market women. Low-income market women in Nigeria. There are so many people that are not banked. They are not banking.
Yes.
That's one. Number 2, there are people. I said these things in one of my meetings in London at East London Dockland main campus in London. This was my major vocal point that day. I said the only way to identify the real business people are those that are trading on the minimum capacity and doing the maximum. Anyone that trade on $100, 100,000 naira, for example, and then they are sending their children to school, they are feeding themselves, they are doing everything. They are the real people that have passion for business. I'm telling you, there are market women that all they've got in all their trade is 100,000. Like their shop, this small kids that they put together is 100K.
Yes.
But their children are going to university. From this same trade, they train these kids to go to the university. These are the real people. I love them. Sometimes I hold them like this. So we do financial inclusions for low-income market women. So we train them. We give them some little stipends to add to their businesses. We train them on account keeping, diversifications, how to keep record, how to do more of the businesses they're doing. Yeah. And we're looking into, we have the plan to take over, to do so many, you understand, to at least empower so many people. And then the third one is the Triller's Travel Empowerment Scheme. Triller's Travel Empowerment.
Tell us more about Triller's Travel. Because today our topic is on migration.
Thank you.
And we want to see what Triller Travel has to offer.
Yeah. So if you see shortly, before I told you about we are launching, if you look at all the flyers that's been shared with you and all of that, I said to you that we're just launching now. Okay, fine. We have Triller's Travel Empowerment Scheme as the CSR platform of TUDEV. We host Triller's Human Development Foundations that render these 3 services.
Okay.
The third service that we render is we identify best brains in Nigeria, and then we give them empowerment on how to relocate. We help them to get job abroad, and then we send them. We help them to get admission, and then we put them up together. We send them for schooling. This is big, and this is not what I'm talking about now. I'm going to enter there shortly. TTES is what we now reformed and bring it out of the TUDEV. TUDEV is an NGO. Triller's Travel Empowerment Scheme was under the NGO before. Now we bring it out under the NGO now to become a business on its own because of the massive results that we got. Sir,
Tell us.
what motivated that?
Exactly.
I was in South Africa 2019, February. My friend Tomiwa from OEU is a crypto badass. I'm sorry to say that right now in DOS, where he's doing very well. The guy, I think he owns a chopper, not a PJ anyway. He has a chopper in South Sea now. You know, for someone to have a chopper, an helicopter.
That's big.
Yeah, it's big. So, called me over, Ambassador, come, how you doing? Well, we're just like, friends. I was there. In our meeting that day, I saw some guys, like several other people that are seated. I said, bros, let's go back to Nigeria and make Nigeria great. The shocking response I got from one of them is, he rather dies here. He rather what? He rather die here and be forgotten than to come back to Nigeria for any reasons. I said, tell me more. He said Nigeria has dealt with him like nothing. Sir, I asked him to make a post that day. I screenshotted it right on his phone. I can share with you from my phones. I go to the gallery and then share with you. He said, I rather die here, lose my life and lose everything right here than to go back to Nigeria for anything. So I was interested. I wanted to know what more. Remember, I had my fair share of Nigeria's system of government and every other person. But me, I didn't see it as bad like that. Okay? So now, I close that chapter there because I see this one has made up his mind. No problem. Shortly after then, we were in another meeting. People were like, bros, you are overstaying your welcome here already because of what you are preaching. Because I have passion for Nigeria. I'm called these days Moses. My interest is to ensure that the life of Nigerian get better. I woke up to see Nigerian in the hand of their oppressor. That is what I woke up to. I know people are saying Nigeria when Nigeria was better, like from 1956 down to 1989. 1956 down to 1989, Nigeria was a bit better. Okay? But from that time up until now, it was horrible. So now my experience of Nigeria is the similar things that Israelites experienced in Egypt. And I accepted the responsibility to take Nigerian to their promised land. So everywhere I get to, I preach Nigerian to people. So when I'm preaching Nigerian matter, Nigerians are fierce to people. Some scold me, some bullshit me, some do all of those things, and I get more interested. I want to know more. Why? So another one just told me that he brought his wife to hospital in Nigeria, and they were requesting for money before they can attempt to operate the woman. And then, he mentioned the hospital to me, very popular hospital in this Lagos. He said that thing, I was shivering. The woman died on the stretcher. The woman did what? Died on the stretcher. Then he said the hope of Nigeria, of even being alive, left him. One of his brothers saw him becoming mentally unstable and came to take him out. He said, so you want to return me back to that depressive state of his personality? He said, no way. No. My friend is travel coach Abibo Layemi. He said, please do not allow Nigeria to happen to you. I'm telling you, Nigeria happened to the guy. When he said that, he humbled me. And I'm like, okay, now I understand. No problem. So you guys, I wish you well. Don't worry. When we get the system better in Nigeria, I will invite you to come and experience the new Nigeria. So just continue. I'm not pushing. I'm not over pushing again. So that one, stay there. That's not all. Stays there. I go back to Nigeria. I was scrolling through some of my friends, and there's this guy called Ejibo Shere. I'm calling names, for you to know. We mentioned Paul Apostle's name. We mentioned Judas Iscariot. So you understand, I'm calling it the way it is, So Ejibo Shere came, and it was like we just got repatriated from Saudi during the South Africa. Then he attempted to go on a cruise, on a boat again, to cross to Libya. And then he got repatriated back to Nigeria. What happened? The IOM, the Foreign Affairs, the Dangote Foundations, and several other agencies, non-governmental organizations, and the government, the federal government of Nigeria, approved some money for these people. Listen and get my point here. These people lost hope for being Nigerian, and they took the greatest risk that anybody can take and embark on a journey of no return. And then these people survived the trauma, and then the international community called them and repatriated them back to their home country. And then they made a promise publicly that we're going to settle these people. We're going to give them some patronage sums of money, like maybe the money they promised these guys, each of them was about 600 and something thousand. If you sum up all those money together. Sir, the guy came to my office when I returned back to Nigeria with tears rolling down his eyes. He said they promised that they were going to help him when he get back to Nigeria. He got back to Nigeria now, no dime from all those promises was given to him. No what? No dime from all those promises was given to him. Then I step up. I'm like, yeah, it is time to do something. Before everybody lose hope, before everybody dies in the state of hopelessness in Nigeria. And I launched Trailers Travel. I introduced Trailers Travel Empire. I said to the board of trustees of TUDEP, and then we talk about it, and they accepted it. Although the first believer of every dream is the dreamer.
Yes.
So I fought so many fights before they accepted it. Like so many that this is gonna bring us out in a bad limelight. This is gonna do this. This is gonna do that. But I was able to still talk them over and make them to understand. Lo and behold, we launched big time. Once we launched Trailers Travel Empowerment Scheme, we moved the office to what's this place called in the Ikotun Council, Liasso Road. From there, I moved to Omole Estate, Ademola Ajasa. You understand? In Omole Phase 1. Then from Phase 1, Abuja, I just go on apartment for National Assembly quarters there, just set up the office there for the travel, and we were busy applying for employment for people, applying for studies for people, helping people to migrate, doing family reunion visa, doing so many things.
Trailers Travel is an organization that helps people with a simple solution to help them travel abroad.
Absolutely.
Help them get visas.
Absolutely.
Help them for family reunion.
Absolutely.
Study abroad.
Absolutely. So now, become the United Nations Global Ambassador, which I mentioned. So our work got to them. So I got the letter, and then through one of our coordinators at that time, Okade Morris, they sent a representative delegate from all the law enforcement agencies in Nigeria. We have some top dignitaries that came. So we got United Nations Global Ambassador. Shortly after that, then ordered by the Presidency and ECOWAS, West African Youth Council, then I was awarded the Thomas Sankara Leadership Award of Excellence and Integrity, and I referred on the ECOWAS Youth Ambassador. So that was all 2021. And that's 2 years ago. And then shortly, I was even in Canada. ISCG University, with the affiliations, they have a study center in one of the Yaba school here. They called me for Doctor of Philosophy in Human Resource Management, and they gave me honorarium PhD. So yeah, that's on the second doctor. Yeah. So that's on the 29th of September 2022, which was just shortly. So I was in Nigeria. So and then we just had to come for it because, of course, it's a welcome development, and then we'll go. So that is all about Moses Adebisi. Now, those are just the baseline because we've not started anything. As far as I'm here, Moses Adebisi, we've not started anything yet. We are about to start.
Interesting. So you are going to tell us about those plans that you're going to start. Maybe we'll start with
Trailers Travels.
Okay, so we've mentioned what Trailers Travels is. Awesome CV you've got there. Awesome achievements. it takes someone who understands what leadership is and unique passion to go for this. I can imagine the kind of challenges involved in making sure you do non-governmental projects that are backed by World Bank projects and all. I remember in 2000 when I was in the university, one of the reasons that made me not to look at the side of government were because of some of these bureaucracies you mentioned. You're supposed to have thousands of fertilizers per project, and somebody's cornering it. So we've seen all these things, and you've mentioned that nothing beats when you are in a system that works. And now you are trying to take people from a system that is not working to a system that works. So what should we look out for? And what should be one of the core reasons why people should look at what Trilla's Travel is doing?
Wow. Firstly, Nigeria is in a crisis period because we are in the process of development. And the emblem of underdevelopment is crisis everywhere. You have that in Iraq, you have it in Iran, you have it in Cameroon, you have it in Pakistan, you have it in Nepal, you have it in every underdeveloped countries. Crisis everywhere. You have it in all parts of Sudan, from Sudan to Angola, from Angola. Every underdeveloped country, you have a crisis. Capital letter crisis, yeah? So Nigeria is in a period of crisis. The only thing anybody can do in this country now to save your sanity, where everybody is losing it, is to flee. That's where the factor of Habra come in. If you want to make sure you are that change, if you do not want to lose your sanity the way every other person is losing it, you need to flee first.
So many things are wrong here.
So now, for the fact that the things are wrong, you naturally you see yourself becoming that kind of person that exhibit those wrong things if you do not flee first. So that is why I'm like, okay, now what do you do when everybody is losing their sanity? You run away from there, go and get your sanity stabilized, then come back and impose sanity on people. It's simple. And everybody does it. Now, in the book, Exposing the Absurdities in Nigeria System of Government, which is my first work of anthology in Nigeria, this is my first literature work in Nigeria, Exposing the Absurdities in Nigeria System of Government. So I did this all through 2016 down to 2019. This took me 4 years to write anyway. So I put so many things together. I read about the world power. I read about economy. I read about development. I read about politics. I read about money. I read about spirituality. I read about desire. I read about, just mention anybody's name, you understand? And then I will tell you a bit of what I've taken from them. So now I compiled the current situations of Nigeria together in this book, Exposing the Absurdities in Nigeria System of Government. And then after analyzing the problem, everybody knows the problem in Nigeria. If you just ask an Okada man, typical bike rider, what is he will tell you our leadership is bad. He will tell you everybody is corrupted. He will tell you that there is oppressions. You understand oppression and the oppressed. He will tell you the poverty is on the land. They will tell you there is no food, hungry. So many things like that. I'm like, okay, it is not enough to know the problem. The good part of knowing the problem is identify the solution and profiling an holistic one. So I now went in, sir, to provide an holistic solution that is everly proven to be justifiable, everly. Right from 2,640 years ago, of the days of Abraham, that there was drought in the land where Abraham was living, and God did not want him to experience the drought. He called him out. That's one. Let me tell you about Joseph. Don't you know that God wanted to save Jacob, which is Israel? That was why he took Joseph out of that land, using all those experiences of Joseph until he got there. I'm telling you, if Joseph remained with the family in the land will have destroyed them, consumed them all. If you remain in Nigeria, all your family, nobody nobody ever step out of this Nigeria, in the next 30 years, your family will be the regressed ones. That people will be pointing out that those are the poor of the poor of the poor. I'm telling. See, if you remain in Nigeria and no member of your family step out of this country, at least for the next 30 to 40 years, because it takes a generation to build a country. Everybody think Nigeria will just wake up and be best. Nigeria does not have the capacity of China. We don't have the capacity of the UAE. What is our production? What is our oil productions per day? We don't have the capacity of the GC country. Don't think someone will come there and make Nigeria better overnight. Those countries were built for 40 to 50 years. Both China from 1979 down to 2017. China. And UAE became, today, as of this time of this podcast, UAE is 50 years today. It was built within 50 years. So don't expect that Nigeria will become the country of your choice in 4 years or 8 years. It's never going to be like that. So we still have 40, 50 years to go.
Jesus.
So that 40, 50 years of national development, I'm talking of real national development, okay? That 40, 50 years, if you remain here in this country, you are the one that people will be pointing to that see them. See, I'm telling you the truth, sir.
Let's go on a short break, and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're still on the World Creation Podcast and the power of migration.
Naturally, this life is hard for an average Nigerian, and one of the easiest way for you to break through from the hardship, from the oppressions and the insecurity that is faced by every Nigerian on a daily basis is to secure visa to a country like Canada. I am Dr Moses, and I have single-handedly taken more than 1,000 people to the UK and Canada right from Nigeria. We shall be empowering another set of 1,000 people to Canada, powered by Trailers Travels. So if you ever wish to leave Nigeria this year, 2023, the best thing that you can do for yourself is to be at the venue where you'll be meeting myself and every other associate that we have in the Western countries like the UK and Canada. We shall be coming together to empower 1,000 people on a promo visa to Canada by 10 a.m. on Saturday, 2nd of September 2023 at Oriental Hotel, Lekki First Tollgate, Lagos, Nigeria. Remember, this is first come, first serve basis. Thank you.
Welcome back to our creation series. I'll be here with Dr. Moses Adebisi, and he actually said something before we went on break. The next 30 years of Nigeria is so crucial, and your family is also crucial in the scheme of things. And so you need to have somebody who should travel outside of your country. You should have somebody who should travel outside of your country, either for relocation, business, or whatsoever. And it's going to be shedding more light on that process. So for us, you are saying, what are the things that have stopped people, or the barriers that have stopped them from migrating?
Okay, yeah, number one is the access to the right informations.
Okay.
Some people are misinformed about the reasons for migrations. Okay. Some people, they do not have the finance because to be fair, it's not everyone that can migrate.
Travel.
It's not everyone that will ever migrate. It's not everyone that will ever. But however, I believe that people do not have the reasons to, but it is my job to make you to see the reasons.
Do you want to share more reasons why we should travel? You've mentioned the part of the next 30 years, 40 years for Nigeria. You've talked about countries like UAE, 50 years, China. You've mentioned countries.
Beautiful.
You've also mentioned things on the national scheme.
Oh, yeah.
There are people watching Daba TV today who are young men like me, who are not yet married. Some are married. Okay, I'm married with a kid. And they want to know, what is the essence of this migration for my personal life? Let's leave the grand scheme of things for Nigeria. My personal life, my business, why should I migrate?
Wow. 1914, Nigeria was amalgamated. Okay, so we come together as a country, different people. What our forefathers were doing then was basically the farming, trading, and trade by barter. okay? 1914. I want to talk about dispensations, okay? Towards 1956, that oil was discovered in this country. That is how people were surviving in this country. Trade, famine, and trade by barter, okay? So now, because they use cowrie, they have their ways of trading that time, and then you in the money financial sector, you have a better understanding of how the transaction is done. So now, the people that were key players that time, they were the happening people in the next phase of Nigeria as a country. Take that note, number one. Towards the 1956, when the oil was discovered, international communities begin to bring their influences, both spiritually. They introduce church, they introduce educations. There has been educations before, but they come more sporadically. And then people started to go to school, coupled with the famine and all of that. Some people were reluctant to go to school and join the military. Three things combined together during that process. The military was introduced heavily, and they were going to people's family to ask to donate one person from your family to come and join the military, the army. Watch the people that joined the army that time. Who are they today? They are not generals today. Education was brought along the line. Those that continued, that left the family, remember dispensation, famine, from famine, military, from military, educations. So towards the 1970s, 80s, now education was the big deal that time. People were becoming professors, people were going to school on scholarship. There was bait, remember? Government had to lure people to come and go to school. The same way they were luring people with scholarship and all manner of things, jobs and payment. But some people were so comfortable. People were comfortable with their famine, and they refused to heed to those calling. Those people that remain in the farm today, they are the fathers in the villages today. Those that joined the armies are the generals today. The people that went into education are the professors, they are the alagbadas, they are the main people in the political system today. Open your, you don't need to hear what I'm saying, you need to see it for yourself. Because it takes spiritually, it takes sense to even understand, to decode what I'm talking about. Then the paradigm has shifted. We only have the migrations now for settlement, so you can have the influences, and we have technology. If you're dying now to join military, you came too late. If you are dying now to go to school, you came too late. The only thing from 2013 down to 14 and 15 now for Nigeria as a country, for Nigeria as a country, is technology. And if you want to have the best of the technology, where do you have it? Abroad. It's simple. So the best thing that can happen to anybody, now if you want to be relevant, I keep on hammering on that point. If you want to be relevant in the next 30, 40 years, there are some courses that people are doing abroad that you don't have it in Nigeria. Can I mention some? Like the Scrum Masters, project management. People don't know architectural building or software. People don't know these things here. And we have them. I've been to Lagos Business School. I had a course there. I've been to everywhere I graduated. I have my GDLI certifications, GDLI Global Distance Learning Institute. I'm not a dummy. I've gone to so many schools. I have, of course, this is my 2 book. I've written 5. I'm on Alone with My Thought, my 6th book that I'm currently compiling. Alone with My Thought. It's a powerful book that talks about life, nature, human, spirituality, and God. I'm telling you. So I understand the faces. Nothing you want to talk about that I don't understand. I'm telling you, if you want to be relevant in the next 30 years, bro, you need to have that person abroad, if not you, that will give you that influence that you need. Because every table that is made is placed on another table. Can I tell you why? Before China was built, they sponsored the best brain in China to the West to go and learn the system and come back to build China. Before UAE was developed, they brought the people that have this strength and bring them to build the GC countries.
Even the prince of Dubai went to study.
Thank you so much. I like the man. I like the man so much. I'm telling you the fact. It's a must. You need to do it. Because this is the system that's already built. And before this table is is done, they place it on another table. So the people that has done this thing, we have to go there. When Abraham is from Mesopotamia. He went to the Egypt to learn the gimmicks there and bring it back. That is why they introduced the first writing, alphabet, and everything in Mesopotamia, all by the influence of Abraham that God called out. You can't rule out the nature. We're talking about God here. Okay? So if you two want to do that, bro, get out, sir. You need to get out first, get settled, get understanding, get expositions, get empowered, get motivated, get to be disciplined. Because do you want me to mention problems in Nigeria and their solutions?
Go ahead.
Thank you for the time. Okay, permit me to share briefly some of the problems that we've got as a country. I'm here to talk about the Elon Musk that says developed countries are where great things are possibly built. So I moved out of South Africa. Many people do not know Elon Musk he was born in South Africa. He's an African man. Yeah, the most ambitious entrepreneurs. I didn't put him as the richest man. See what I put him as? The most ambitious entrepreneurs in the world. Ambitious. You know what? Ambitious. Elon Musk is an African man. So he was born in South Africa. He said he learned that developed countries are where great things are possibly best. So he moved out of South Africa to Canada, Pennsylvania, and then to America. Now, let me tell you about the problems that I'm tackling. Number one is Nigeria is led by celebrated mediocre. If you think that you are not a mediocre, if you think that you have what it takes to take Nigeria of today to the Nigeria of the future, abroad first. Go and get empowered. I will tell you why. Number two, no standard of living. 80% lives in either estimable or abject poverty. Forget the laughter, the fake laughter that people wearing in this country. People are inside bus sweating and they are still laughing. They are looking at the comedy. They are okay. You understand why? Because they don't know that there's a better life for them. They don't know. I'm telling you, they don't know there's a better life for them. That's the problem. There is better life for every human. So when you are him, let me tell you what. If you, by virtue of international a system, get to somewhere like Finland, let me say that, get to Europe now, Finland, yeah, and then you just have a cut on your leg, but something just hit and blood just come out, just a stain of blood on your leg. It is an emergency that is coming to carry you. Do you know what that means? Emergency. They will shut down everywhere to come and carry you and attend to you. Talk less of people that are dying here, nobody ever cares for them. Why are people laughing here is they do not know that there's a better life somewhere else. They have the fear of the unknown. They are not aware because they are not exposed. So that's one, that's two, that's three. Then a lawless nation filled with an act of indiscipline. Man, people are so indisciplined in this country. So indisciplined. I'm telling you. That's why you can send your gate man now, give him money to buy fuel, 10,000, and they buy 8K. That's why you can send your drivers to go and buy vehicles, and then you look, because of discipline. But when you get abroad, you get to know that this thing you are being watched though. As we were coming here, I was looking out for cameras. Let's say, you understand, maybe so we know how to step in. And I look at, yeah, this is Nigeria truly. Everywhere you are being watched. If you do 2 seconds, you just say, wow, 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 straight up. You're already been captured. In Dubai, thank God you've been to UAE several times, sir. Drop this laptop. This is 2022 MacBook Air, yeah? Drop it there. They burn no bagger to carry it. 2 seconds, you are apprehended. 2 seconds. So you don't think that you are just... If you want that, man, you need to at least port is important. 4, no life security, no financial stability, no healthy living, happiness and peace of mind across the land. Look at Enugu today. One of my friends just sent it to me. Please, you say, look at every other place today. Look at Lagos, something can just come. Why? Nigeria is in a developing stage. Crisis is an emblem.
There's a place in Ojota.
Mm-hmm.
I got admission to university in 2006.
Okay.
And I had a 5-year course in school.
Okay.
I schooled in the East.
Oh, yeah.
And since I was born and raised in Lagos, every time I take bus
Okay.
back to
Okay.
whenever we're coming into Lagos,
Oh, yeah.
we have that place in Ojota welcoming us.
Oh, yeah.
From my year 1,
Okay.
year 2,
Okay.
year 3, year 4, final year. The bank my company has an account
Okay.
is there.
Okay.
Till today,
Okay.
this 2023,
Yeah.
that area still smell.
2006. So, look, that's literally
There's
18
anything-
years, 17, 18
If
years.
there's anything, there are other things that pains me in the city,
Look at that.
in Lagos.
Look at that.
But that one
Mm.
makes me mad.
Look at that.
Because I use a luxury car.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care how luxury the car is. If I pass there,
The odor will still come in. Wow.
That is for me who does not even live there.
Okay.
I have to go to your job.
Okay. Okay.
Now, how much more
People that live there.
people that work there, why is it not a thing of emergency to the government?
To attend to that, I'll tell you, it's because the system is yet to have the capacity to take care of that. We're going to talk about that as part of national development problems in Nigeria. That's deep. It has to do with facts and figures and the earnings and the project at hand, and then the corruptions and the high places in Nigeria, which I'm going to delve more deeper into that if time permits us. So I wish one day that Nigeria will become like the UAE that everybody runs to. And I have the visions and I've seen it coming. And then I already give the projection 50 years from here. So we should be hopeful. But before that 50 years, you that will be, all of us that will be alive, please, you need to get your life better first. So now, what the abroad will now do for you, sir? Okay, you want to ask the question?
No, go ahead.
So if you are now privileged, if you have the opportunity to, the first thing that will happen to you is you will rise above mediocrity through exposure. Once you travel, the first trait of mediocrity, the first trait of inexposition is mediocrity. People can only think based on what they've known or what they've heard and what they see. If you've not seen something, you've not heard something, you've not known something, you can't think above it. When God wanted to bless Abraham, do you know what he did? He called him, come, look to the far right, look to the far left, to the far right, forward and backward, every other places, as far as you can see, as far as you can see, as far as you can imagine. Since the days of Abraham till now, nothing has left this heart. Nothing has left the heart. All the money we made, everything is still within this heart. So it's not like maybe his own is far-fetched. No, we can still make something happen. In the days of Moses, the Moses of that time took the people through the Red Sea. Me, I'm flying people now straight up to their promised land, and I will still bring them back to the Israel now to come and exhibit that what they've learned in their strange land. So that's number one. Number two is to understand the rules of law and self-discipline. Number three is for life security, financial stability, healthy living, joy and peace of mind. And then another deep thing is the sad story of Nigeria falling from grace to grass, the untold story of Nigeria retrogressive evolution. Now, let me tell you something. People think that Nigeria is making progress, whereas reverse is the case. People think that Nigeria is making progress in everything, whereas reverse is the case. So now, the untold story of Nigeria retrogressive evolutions will be made known to people. Anybody that step out of this country. I keep that one. Next question.
Yeah. It's quite emotional for me though, but share with me the success story of people who you mentioned something about Moses taking people out of the Red Sea. And so this Moses is now flying people out of that developed countries.
Absolutely.
Share with us the success story of people who have traveled using your platform.
Wow. When we launched 2019. It is first the Mauritius, we're just trying to move people to Mauritius, get them settled, and then gradually, at some point, I decided what's the difference between Mauritius? You become fresh. The climatic condition there is quite different. The exchange rate is still a bit. The life is still a bit better there. Our standard of living and all of that. So Mauritius, we did at least some people, and then I stopped with myself. I started to concentrate on the G8 countries, like Canada, like Germany, Finland, America, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, Switzerland. So the G8, the main G8 countries. So I started to concentrate on those people. Norway also. So that time, remember, Trailers Travel Empowerment Scheme is an NGO. So we are only assisting the people. And so far, all the people that we've done visa for, we have about 320 visas right now in Nigeria with testimonial everywhere. Everywhere. So I move people, some of the Eastern people, some like, I can mention names now, different. I started from some of the people that traveled that time, we call them the Areago, the Latif, the Oladimeji, those people, the others in their group, about 3 of them. I moved them. I was at the airport with them. It was a joyful thing for me too that time. We just started. And then we continue like that, increase our capacity. We were doing more of the student visas to Canada and to the UK. I started from the Dabeluchi down to Igwe, Igwe in Canada now, settled everybody. Then we moved also to America. We're doing to Washington, and we did to the Madame Yore Matilda. And then we continue like that now to Canada, to the UK, Canada, UK, America, Australia, Canada, UK. And then I just woke up one day and I was counting visa and I slept off on the count of visa. As a matter of fact, this is Moses Adebisi. No travel agent in Nigeria without not being equivocal, without mincing my words. Let me use that, okay? Unequivocally, without mincing my word, no travel agent has done what we have done in Nigeria when it comes to real visa for people to travel. Nobody. Mention names of that big brand and I will tell you that we've done more than them. No travel agent has done what we have done in Trailers Travels over the years. No, nobody.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to come on board Trailer Travel, and this is one David watching that wants to study abroad.
Okay.
There's one Chigozie watching that wants to relocate and is a tech entrepreneur. He wants to go and build this app in Australia, New Zealand, Netherlands, and Canada. What are the process they can get in to achieve this dream?
Oh, beautiful. Now we have Trailers Travels, the most advanced travel application platform, fully online, AI-powered travel application platform tailored for Nigeria. When I say something is tailored for Nigeria, is we put Nigerian needs into perspectives before we build the platform. So we are launching full-time online now, fully automated. So all you need to do is just to get to trailerstravels.com. And yeah, so trailerstravels.com, just get on there. It's functioning perfectly like bookings.com and Skyscanners and all of those, Opobo, any of the platform that you can think about. And we have more sophisticated system in place than those ones because we're using AI, fully automated. You understand, even the suggestions, the support, the everything, even all the paper you need to present to all the documents, maybe your school. If you're going for studies now, you see, you pick your visa. We're going to be doing the launching. Absolutely.
We're going to talk about it.
And I'm going to be showing you understand how to navigate the platform from the horse's mouth directly. And then that is the proper launch.
Tell us about the launch. I saw a flyer, I saw Sabinus, I saw what's happening in July with the launch for Trailers Travel here in Mabel.
When the goods increases, when the heater increases, the Bible says so, the goods increases. When you have more people that eat from you, the provisions will increase. Do you understand?
Yes.
So now our increase has come. This is the time to launch exponentially because I hate linear exploit. I love exponential exploit, okay? So so we love it. We love to do big things because we've got proof, we've got result. So amazing to me too. We were in the office last time and I was saying that, do we have a denier? 2 deniers in 328 visa applications. 2 denier. You know why the denier? They didn't tell us the truth at first. After that, I said, put the application back. 2 seconds, I get visa for everybody into there. Everybody into there. It's not, if they deny you, we reapply for you. You understand? So that is what we stand for. And then we've got the platform. Now that we have all this system in place, we have all the people, we have the contact, we have the international alliances. Do you know what? I have people, recruiters in Canada. It's just a call, send our people, the HR manage all those applications, confirm their details are complete, put them forward. We do what they call proof of establishment in Nigeria and the ties to their destination, put those things together and submit them. The visa is just like, bam, straight up. Then, when we got this, I'm like, our people, they are like, ambassador, we don't need to keep quiet. We need to reach out to as many people as possible. We call on the people from Shaggy to Sabinos, from Sabinos to Kiki, from Kiki to Portable. So to Portable, and then from Portable to... it's 29th of July.
Where's it happen?
At Oriental Hotel.
Okay, so is there any need for registration or you just throw the flyer?
There's need for registration. Everybody,
if everybody just calls like that, they all
will be too much. So we need to vet the people. We will be the one to send invitations. Okay. We are only taking 100 people for, let me say it like that, 100 people. So if you have the tickets to come, count yourself as the most lucky to be there. You know why? I'll be bringing all our associates from Australia, from Canada, from the UK, from Norway, down to Nigeria Oriental Hotel on that day. I mean, the people that give us the platform that we are riding through today, we'll bring them all together, and then it's going to be very big.
Are there other things you want us to know about travel, leisure, and thriller travels and what you people do as you round up?
Okay, beautiful. We have 3 different categories of migrations. We have the first one, which is elite class migrations. There are people that have the diplomatic passport, like they can enter anywhere at any time, diplomatic passport. Likewise, those set of people can buy properties in some established country, and then you can buy the second citizen. There's another thing called NGO support. You can do non-governmental support. I have that system in place. You can donate, like maybe I'm permitted to mention figure. So you can donate like maybe 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, $1 million to some multinational companies that are rooted in some of those places, and they give you an honorarium board of trustees of those NGO. With that, you have the permit anywhere those organizations have their list, you can travel. Especially if it's a British-based non-governmental organization, I can mention name of those ones. So you can donate some huge amount of money to them, and then they give you their honorarium passport, like a premium card that permits you to enter anywhere you may want to enter. If you don't want to buy property, some people, they have so many property, they are not interested in buying another one. So if you're not interested in buying the properties and all of that, you can do those elite class migration plan. You get what I mean?
Yes.
Elite class migration plan. Now, secondly, we have the employment migration plan, which is for relocation, employment. Those ones that need to relocate. These are my own people. These are my what? My own people. Everybody that has at least have a degree, or even if you don't have, you have a skill, you have something that is abroad. There are so many junkies. We have people called junkies abroad, but abroad is not filled with junk. Abroad is filled with individuals that are contributing to national development. Every typical person abroad contributes to national development. Okay? So now, if you know you have all it takes to contribute to the Western national development, because for the fact that you are in Nigeria doesn't mean that you are not going to, you pay tax. You work, you earn, make your money for yourself and pay tax back into the system. If you know you have all it takes, So you can actually port, if you have the skill, if you have the degree, if you have anything, you can do employment directly. We are going to guide you through, do the applications for you, and then we'll just make it so seamless for you. That's number 2. Number 3 is tourists and visiting. So if you want to visit, is the easiest one, and then it only requires some small amount of some money and all of that for vacations and all of that. And you know, Nigeria, a lot of people build their castles in their hair. People that do not have 100 millions in their savings, they are leaving Nigeria to go and spend this 5 million that they managed to save in Dubai. People leave Nigeria, they go to Dubai. All they have in their savings is hey, those set of people, we help them too anyway. So
Everybody has the package.
Yeah, so everybody has their package. So if you are these categories of people too, so you're welcome, and then we'll make it so easier for you, take you on tour, give you a tour guide. Even sometimes we book you for some specific programs that we are part of, and then you get to meet me most of the time. I remember, like Davido, I'm unavailable. They know they see me.
Let's talk about how people can get your book. Are they on sale online or?
Okay, firstly, this is for our political movement.
Okay.
It's a treasure that is guarded, not released to the public.
Okay.
And this is a manual for people that are migrating. So every members of the Trailers Travel, everyone interested.
Security, secure residency must for every prudent Nigerian.
That's it. Yeah, so this is a manual for those that are interested in migrations. It's very important. You need to have a copy. You need to have a copy. You need to. So this comes with our package.
Okay.
And it comes with a package. Once you just, it's not to the public. It's not just to. Okay. I have the book. My 3rd book is the truth and the forces behind money. The truth and the forces behind money. That's my 3rd book. I pour my brain, my everything, the knowledge from Dr. Miles Monroe and that of the Abiodun Jemilun that I wrote the book, How People Prosper Financially, and several other financial and self-help books. I put them together in that one called How People, the Truth and the Forces Behind Money. So you can buy that online. So we have it on KDP, Kindle Publishing, and then that's right there. And I have the 4th book, which is Let My People Go. Let My People Go. So that Let My People Go is basically talking about the oppressions in Nigeria and how you should not exercise your authority on your fellow Nigerian and every other developing country, because my project is only targeting developed areas. I'm not targeting those people that are well built already. Those are not market. God didn't call me for the established system already. We are called for those that are just trying to put things together. So every of our projects is tailored around Nigerian and Indians and some other people in the developing countries. Yeah.
It's been an awesome time with Dr. Moses. One of the things I'm doing to cheer you up about this interview is how passionate you are. And if you're watching this video, kindly understand that Trailers Travel has its event and official launch at Oriental Hotel. So there's a link on this video you can use to register. There's also a link showing on your screen that you can use to register. And before we pull this program to an end, let me tell you 2 things to do right away. In the comment section, share with me 4 things you've learned. Share with me, why do you also want to migrate? I'm sure the Trailers Travel team will be looking at the comment section, and who knows, you could read something from them when they have their mind changed about that. And as you come ahead for the program, if you see any mail or invitation via DABA, let us know. If you receive their mail, you are invited to the program, let us know. And I'm sure that it's something you want to do. For me, I've shared with him personally. I've seen some of our biggest political leaders, business leaders, even name that P2B. 1996, P2B was buying the house of £1 million.
In the UK.
You know what that means?
He bought it at Petersburg. I went there.
You know what that means? That means the migration, that it's something you should consider, whether it's part-time, whether it's full-time, okay? And for us at DABA, we want to keep bringing you exclusive information that will change your life. You have something to say?
I want to say something. I want to chip that something into this statement you just made now. The most important action steps towards personal development for national advantage. Okay? I now say discover the keys to open the doors of power, wealth, fame through migrations to the 20 best countries. And I analyze the life of the 20 most prominent Nigerians. 20 most prominent Nigerians. None of them that does not have international ties. None of them that do not have these abroad ties. Don't let anybody sit you down and say, sit down where you are, you will be fine. Sit down, you'll be fine. You'll be fine how? Bro, you need to get out and see what, because that is what every other person leverage to become who they become. Starting from Buhari, people were attacking the man. You don't know, you have different certification from abroad, you don't know. Tinubu, those are the most prominent people in Nigeria right now. Talk about the Obasanjo himself. Talk about the Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Talk about the Nasir El-Rufai. Talk about the Babajide Sanwo-Olu. People thought these people are dumb. Look at the Daura, even as typical as those Daura people abroad doing their master. They don't stay more than their masters. Once they finish, they're back to Nigeria. What they did, they just went to learn, see things, and then come back and impose the knowledge on these people. You look at our master here, Tony Elumelu. You understand? Nobody that doesn't have. Look at the Adedeji Adeleke. You understand? So that's the father of Davido. International ties is a must if you want to do well in this our current age as a Nigerian.
Solid one.
That's it.
That's a solid one. I hope you've enjoyed World Creation Series podcast today. I hope you've had a nice time. Let me know in the comment section. Till I come your way next time, keep succeeding, keep progressing, and make sure you follow Thriller Travels. Are you guys on social media?
All the social media platforms.
Okay, so all the social media platforms, follow Thriller Travel, attend their events, their programs, and of course, let us know what you learned in this program. Till we'll come your way next time. God bless.
Come down.